A sheriff's office in the metro is starting its own training academy to recruit deputies.
It's a long road ahead of us for sure, but it's definitely a step in the right direction.
We're hearing from a recruit about what's inspiring him to join the force.
It's always been a dream to be a part of this.
Colorado's climate is changing.
We're absolutely seeing a new normal in the trends of the number of records we're breaking.
Scientists are rethinking how they classify storms and the role climate plays in predicting them.
You hope for the best, but you absolutely need to plan for the worst.
Plus, Empower Field is ready for the Broncos, and repairs just wrapped up one day before the team's first preseason game. It seems Colorado's breaking records or experiencing a major storm so frequently.
Scientists say that is going to continue.
So is it time to rethink how we classify big weather events?
Denver 7's Megan Lopez explores rethinking how we predict storms.
Upper 90s.
It feels more frequent these days.
Could be looking at a new record high today. The current record 97.
One Colorado weather record after another being broken.
And again, yeah, we could be talking some new record highs.
We're absolutely seeing a new normal in the trends of the number of records we're breaking.
It's not just the heat, it's also the drought. Big storms are also becoming more regular.
Especially the ones that have a lot of heavy rainfall. Those are becoming more intense and more frequent in Colorado and beyond, and that trend is going to keep continuing as our planet keeps warming.
A lot of our systems are being built to withstand 100-year storms, but with climate change intensifying, the air can hold more moisture, making those big events even bigger.
The thing to consider in a warming climate is you're essentially just giving it a shot in the arm or a jolt of steroids. Climate change is that steroids, where events will be more intense and more frequent.
We are playing with a stacked deck or a loaded die, essentially.
So is it time to rethink the classification of those storms? First, let's explain what they are.
100-year storm is a storm that has a chance of happening 1% of the time in any place, in any year.
So it can happen more than once a century. 100-year storms are determined using historical data on rainfall. But here's the thing.
There's no accounting for climate change in the way those were done in the past.
Humans are also changing the impact these storms can have on an area. The more we develop, the less open soil there is to absorb all that water.
When a planner many years ago or decades ago would have said, okay, this area can withstand a 100-year storm. Well, if that area changed, it may now only be able to absorb a 10-year storm.
NOAA scientists are now working to factor climate change into those storm predictions, but
it doesn't matter what the actual number value on that storm was. We know that we need to be more proactive and we need to go after the truly worst case scenario, and you kind of bump in that direction.
So between climate change and our changing infrastructure, it might be time for cities and states to prepare for more than a 100-year storm of the past. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
California is also experiencing extreme weather. Scientists say the state is overdue for a once-in-a-century mega flood. The Washington Post reports the last time California had a mega flood was back in 1862. Now, researchers from Science Advance say climate change has doubled the chances of a disastrous flood in the next 40 years. They say a warmer atmosphere has a greater capacity to store moisture. So they say in a mega flood, the Sierra Nevada could have up to 50 feet of snow, and most of California's major highways could be inaccessible.
Well, legislation containing $370 billion to fight climate change now heading to the president's desk for his signature. The bill, called the Inflation Reduction Act, passed the House earlier this afternoon. It includes tax breaks for Americans who buy certain new and used electric vehicles. Also tax breaks for those who make their homes more energy efficient by installing solar panels. President Biden has not said just when he will sign this bill.
And that bill includes $4 billion in funds to rent, buy, or save water. Some of it could be used to restore the Colorado River Basin. The Colorado Sun reports states and local agencies can temporarily buy farmers' water rights, fund conservation programs, and negotiate with tribes to keep their water rights in the basin. Federal water management officials have warned the 7 states in the Colorado River Basin that they must cut up to 4 million acre-feet of consumption. Now, that's about 25% of the river's water flow. Now, if that doesn't happen, low water levels at Lake Powell and Lake Mead could threaten hydroelectric power. About 40 million people depend on water from the Colorado River.
A 17-year-old boy is in custody tonight facing first-degree murder charges for an apparently random road rage shooting on I-70 in Westminster. The teen is accused of shooting and killing 31-year-old Kevin Piaskowski, who was in the car driving next to him. This happened about 11 o'clock p.m. This is July 31st, and police say the two did not know each other. Now, after the shooting, the teen immediately crashed his vehicle. It collided with another stolen car. And police now are trying to determine if people in that other stolen car have any connection with the murder suspect.
The arraignment for the former Aurora police officers and paramedics charged in Elijah McClain's death is now pushed back to November. The 5 men were supposed to be arraigned today, but their attorneys asked for more time before entering a plea. McClain died nearly 3 years ago after officers and paramedics gave him a dose of ketamine. Those men will be back in court in November.
Law enforcement agencies nationwide are feeling the effects of staffing shortages. Here in the metro too. And here's what we found. Denver police short a little more than 160 officers, but it does have 64 recruits in the academy. Aurora Police has 40 vacancies. Inglewood is 5 short, and the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office is down 40 deputies. So that's leaving departments to find solutions to recruit and retain employees. And as Denver 7 CB Cotton reports tonight, a new training academy in Arapahoe County could help.
We really want to stretch that tendon out.
Receiving guidance and instruction
Spend a second shaking it off.
alongside others. These are the moments Marco Viramontes has always wanted.
Just the way that the county, took in, immigrants, they really took care of people. So it's something that really stuck with me.
And now he's part of it. He's one of 25 recruits with the Arapahoe County Sheriff Office's new police academy.
Yeah, I want to give back to my community.
And fulfilling his dream comes at a critical time when departments across the country are facing staffing shortages.
It's a long road ahead of us for sure.
Joe Van Hook, an instructor with the new academy,
There you go.
believes he's doing his part to help.
By increasing the number of academies, we can obviously get more recruits.
On Friday, those gathered at the range are learning the basics of gun handling, but in the 23-week program, soon they'll learn about casualty care, driving, and use of force scenarios. The first class of 25 recruits, most of them are already signed up to be deputies here in Arapahoe County, but future classes, they could help out with department shortages elsewhere.
If there is some vacancies and there's some need for us to get a deputy or a law enforcement officer trained from somewhere else in the state, we're willing to do that.
Present and future academy graduates will be post-certified, a requirement for all officers in the state. Sheriff Tyler Brown says it'll also keep his staffing robust.
It's just going to expand upon that.
Find your stance.
This instruction guides future officers and aspirations.
It's always been a dream to be a part of this.
In Arapahoe County, I'm CB Cotton, Denver 7.
Get ready, Broncos country. We are exactly 1 month from the season opener against the Seahawks, and we are about 25 hours away from the Broncos' first preseason game. So you're looking live right now at Empower Field, where the stadium will be filled with fans tomorrow night. And by the way, Empower Field has finished restoring that area of seats damaged in a fire back in March. That fire damaged about 200 seats and 14 suites, all back to normal again. And here's what you need to know if you're going to the game. The first parking lot, Lot C, opens at 1 tomorrow afternoon, and all lots will open at 2:30. All gates open by 5, and kickoff against the Cowboys is just after 7.
And you can get to the game on CDOT's Broncos Bustang. Trips leave from Colorado Springs and Fort Collins. Round trip tickets are $15 for the preseason, and CDOT will also offer the service for the regular season. Catalytic converters stolen at an alarming rate from an RTA parking garage.
Will you ever park in here again? I'll tell everybody I know not to park in here.
Denver 7 Investigates is asking questions about why RTD isn't doing something to stop it from happening.
I very quickly learned that I wasn't the only one that had an issue here.
The days in the 90s are numbered. A big change coming early next week.